From homeless to owning 100 plus doors, Ray Glimpse is an award winning business and real estate coach featured on Yahoo and Google, a 40 under 40 candidate, and an AACP champion of change, empowering entrepreneurs to build real wealth and lasting success.
If you're investing,
investors will.
The podcast for all things real estate investing.
So Ray, it's a pleasure having you on. For the audience that's watching this right now, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, what you do today, and what got you into real estate?
Yeah, my name is Ray Glymph. I'm a full-time real estate investor. I've been doing it for over a decade. Right now, we have over 100 plus units, and I'm not more than a landlord. I'm somebody that provides affordable and quality housing to individuals who are in need. So it's always been a passion of mine to help people, and this is one of those things that I felt that came across the best.
That's awesome. And how did you get into the industry?
I think like a lot of investors, I started on accident. I bought my first house and actually had a guy, he ended up being my roommate and ended up paying like half the rent. And I was like, man, this is kind of cool. Like this guy's paying half the rent. I don't really have to pay much on a mortgage. Like I'm good with this. And ended up renting out some more of the house, got on the platform for short-term rentals, which then ended up being Airbnbs. I didn't know at the time. We didn't know what Airbnb was. It was when it first got started. So we ended up launching Airbnb, did really well. And at that point, I knew like real estate's not so bad. So ended up wanting to scale it up.
It isn't that bad. And, when I was looking at your social media, I saw that you've experienced homelessness. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how
Yeah.
that shaped your career and what you do today?
Yeah, so when we were younger, my family, we were homeless, and it wasn't drug addiction or any bad thing. My dad just lost his job, bad time in the economy. This was around September 11th, 2001. So we were in New York City. The economy was really bad, couldn't find a job, and we just faced hardship. And so we were forced to go in a homeless shelter. We lost the house that we were at, and I just remember at that time saying, I never want to put my kids in that position. So whatever it takes to succeed. I want to be successful. And I always tell myself too, if I ever became successful, I want to make sure that I give back. So now we're focused. We're doing low income housing. We do some Section 8, some HUD housing. We actually just won a grant a couple weeks ago to start doing more housing. So we got a big federal grant that just came in. So we'll be doing more.
That's awesome, man. And talking more about what you do today, what's your main strategy? Do you buy and hold, Section 8? Like, can you tell us more about that?
I do a little bit of everything. I think every real estate investor should know everything, right? You don't have to do everything, but know everything. Right now, I currently do. I have some Airbnbs. I have a lot of long term. I do some short term, midterm. I have anything from Section 8 housing to D neighborhoods, E neighborhoods, F neighborhoods, all the way up to, A class. I have some commercial mixed use. Again, I think every real estate investor should try a little bit of everything, figure out what you love and find balance in what you love.
I agree. But if you had to choose one, what would that be?
Commercial real estate is really the easiest. It's the easiest, but low income housing, Section 8 housing really has a pull on my heart just because of my situation, what I've been through.
For sure. And you invest, you said, in Virginia, right?
Yeah, I'm in West Virginia.
West Virginia. How's that market looking and how are you finding your deals these days?
So the market is, I mean, it's a beginner's market. So if you're looking for low income housing or affordable housing, it's a great place to buy a house. Actually, it's one of the better places in the world, or United States to buy a house. Actually, and, finding leads comes from everything, word of mouth, like you mentioned, social media, even through, different sources. There's tons of sources that we're using. It could be as simple as Facebook, or putting a Facebook post, putting a sign out, putting banners, bandit signs, etc. So there's tons of ways to get leads.
And now, we have 2,000 investors use our service and they're watching this. If someone wanted to get into Virginia, what are the biggest mistakes that they're doing when they're investing there?
Overpaying, number one. A lot of people, we don't have California prices. I see people, they're bidding up for, a single family investment. They think the ARV is going to be 400,000 or 300,000 based on the comps that they see. But each street is totally different in each neighborhood. If you folks are familiar with your neighborhood, if you go across the bridge or you go, on that side of the tunnel or that side of the river, the property value is a little bit different. So there's invisible lines in each community in each neighborhood, and you have to be familiar with those invisible lines to invest in the area.
I agree. And can we go a little bit more into the numbers of the project that you're working on right now to share with our investors?
Yeah, so we received a grant. Right now we're working on one that was 1.5 million, and it's going to be to build, redevelop housing for low income affordable housing for veterans, people with disabilities, people who've been unhoused, homeless, etc. So that project is actually kicking off now.
That's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that. You're doing amazing things. You're in real estate investing, you're a coach, you inspire people. What systems did you have to put in place that you could handle all these things together while still being the best that you can?
Team, man, and I stress it, like, if you wanna be good in real estate, you gotta have a team, and it doesn't have to be somebody you pay, it could just be your network, right? "Hey,
Mhm.
so and so is great at doing this," or "So and so, this is a great realtor." That's part of your team, that's part of your network, so having a good team and having a great network is I think what leads a lot of people to success at this stage.
I agree, man. And you've transitioned into coaching and mentoring now. What's the
Mhm.
philosophy behind how you teach others? I know you have an amazing story that you started
Yeah.
from scratch. If you could share that with us, that'd be great.
Yeah, the journey is I should be healthy, I should be wealthy, and I should be free,
Love
right?
that.
You can't you don't live if you're not healthy, right? I know a lot of millionaires who have terrible health. They got to take pills and medicine every day. I don't want to live like that, right? So you need to be healthy. Nothing happens without money in this world, as much as we want to say it does. You need money to fuel that. But I know a lot of people who have health and wealth, but they're not free, right? I know a lot of engineers. I know people who, but they work 60, 80, 90 hours a week. That's not life for me,
Mhm.
right? So I want to be free. I want to be able to go when I want to go on vacation or take a trip. And to do that, you need all three of those. You need health, wealth, and freedom. So that's one of the things that we try to teach and inspire all those in our community.
I love that. How long have you been in the industry?
I've been in industry for over a decade.
Over a decade. If you were to start today from scratch with nothing but your wisdom, how
Yeah.
would you start getting into real estate investing?
Man, that's a tough one. So one of the things I think is finding a circle, right? You have to have that network. You have to have that team. Start linking up with the realtors in your area. Get familiar with lenders, right? Find out who your private money lenders are. Find a coach. Find somebody who's actively doing what you want to do. Those would be the first steps that I would take. Honestly, number one would be finding a coach because that coach can link you with the greatest realtor and the GCs, project manager. He can link you with that person. She can link you with that person that's in the area. They can tell you, hey, look, in this area, I would avoid this. So find somebody and connect with them.
I agree. And I feel like sometimes having a good coach can help you skip the problems. But you went through a lot of things in your career for sure. What's one of the biggest challenges you went through that really built who you are today?
Um, I want to say that homelessness or fear of losing it all, right? Like I've worked my butt off. I didn't get here. I didn't come rich. I didn't have money overnight or not overnight success. I worked my butt off to get here. And fear of failure is what motivated me. I did not want to fail. So that was my biggest fear or my biggest setback was failure, but I used it and made it my strength.
Now, personal question I have is, the homeless problem in the US is just getting worse and worse and it's horrible. What's your thoughts on that and affordable housing in the future?
I think it's gonna get worse, unfortunately, unless the government steps in. I mean, we need government intervention. Look, the cost of everything is going up in the country. I
Hmm.
mean, the cost of lumber. I just left for lunch with one of my GCs. The cost of lumber is going. Everything is going up. So we're going to have, and I think we're going to have massive government intervention. You heard things about UBI, Universal Basic Income, but homelessness is a crisis in America. People, I don't know if we hear people talking about the affordability of utilities, right? How many people might be living with no lights or no water in their homes? So there is a major crisis going on. I think we're going to need some government intervention. Until it starts to hit Main Street, nobody really cares. It's always in the back of people's minds. People walk over it, but I think it's starting to really pony up. You see the president's talking about it. Congress is talking about it. When they start talking about it, usually some action takes place. So I'm looking forward to see what happens.
Besides that, what do you think are the biggest opportunities in real estate in general over the next 3 to 5 years?
I think low income housing is actually a huge buying opportunity. Huge. As you see, multifamily, you see a lot of corporations starting to buy a multifamily, bidding up for multifamily. There's a need. And when they start buying up multifamily, what that says is that single family, they're predicting like somewhat of a decline in single family. So are people gonna lose their houses when people lose their jobs? Start to follow the trends, see the upper end. We just saw the jobs report came back. We had another negative jobs report, right? So that means more people without a job. How do they keep their house over their head? What happens after that? So those are the things that we look at as trends when we're thinking about where to invest next.
And you told us a little bit about like your legacy that you're trying to build with your community. What else would you say to investors watching this that could inspire them to continue building and growing even if they're going through hardships?
Just be a better person, right? In this world, we got enough going on. Just be a better person. Even if you got a tenant, try to be the best person you can to be that tenant. You have your nonsense tenants. We just walked the building in one of my 10 units. We went through all apartments. We had every tenant was great except for one, right? Try to be a better person, right? So we try to spread love. We try to help people. In real estate, the tenant is your customer. You want to help them if you can, right? The customer isn't always right, but you want to help them if you can.
I love that. And if you had to share one resource to our investors, a podcast, a book, or anything that has impacted you recently, what would that be?
Oh, that's a good one. One of the things I always resonate with me is I think everybody should read it. It's a Grant Cardone book. It's Sell or Be Sold, right? And that pretty much teaches that everything has a position, and understand what your position. Are you being sold something, or are you the actual seller, right? So when you look at social media, are you the user, or are you using it? Everything is a drug in life. Are you selling it, or are you using it? So it gives you a different perspective for investors and everybody. So I thought that was a pretty powerful book.
For sure. And is there a quote that you live by that you can share with us?
Quote in life. I don't have any real quotes. I got my four pillars. It's a family, faith, right? Because you need all these. You need family, you need faith, you need freedom, and you need finances. Four pillars.
I agree. And Ray, what's next for you, would you say, on a personal level and for your business in the next couple of years? What should we expect?
Um, More health. So I'm big in the gym. I want to get healthier. I think everybody listening, go. You don't got to go to the gym. Just go for a walk. Do something to be healthier. We're not doing enough in this country. More wealth. How can we make more money? What do we need to do? It doesn't need to be super sexy, but hey, what can I do to make an extra 50, $100 a month? Right. Sometimes for some people, an extra $100 a week would change their lives. Right. So small wins. And then, yeah, I think that's the biggest factor. Small wins. Take that away. If you listen to anything, a small win equals a lot. All right.
And for your business?
Small wins as well. Like I don't look for home runs, and especially in real estate. If you're looking for home runs, you're looking for that magic house that's gonna make you a ton of money. You'll miss so many other opportunities. It's small wins. When you look at the people who are retired in real estate, they had a lot of small wins, right? They might have had that house that cash flowed $300, $400, $500 a month. And then it became 700. Then it became 1,000. It takes time for that growth. And I think a lot of times we want that overnight success. Small wins equal big success.
I love that, Ray. Ray, thank you so much for hopping on today, giving us a little bit of inspiration, your amazing journey. If people want to connect with you and learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way to do that?
You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. Is it really me? I'll really reply. Ray, RayGlymph. Ray Glymph. You find me there.
Awesome, man. We'll link everything below so you guys can connect with him directly. And if this episode helped you, feel free to like, subscribe, and share this with another investor who needs to hear this. Thank you so much, Ray.
Thanks for having me.